Walk into almost any grocery store today, and you'll notice something before you even reach the checkout line: the prices. A gallon of milk costs more than it used to. Eggs cost more. Bread costs more. Fresh fruit costs more. Ground beef costs more. Paper towels, laundry detergent, coffee, cereal, almost everything in your shopping cart costs more than it did just a few years ago. You stand in line waiting to check out, and as each item is scanned, the total climbs higher and higher. $200, 250, 300. You'll look at the cart and think, I didn't even buy that much. If you've had that thought, you're certainly not alone. Millions of Americans are asking the exact same question every week. Today, I don't want to talk about grocery prices. I want to talk about something much more important: how you're paying for those groceries. Because for many homeowners, groceries are no longer being paid for from this month's paycheck. They're being paid for with next month's money, or next year's. That's what happens when groceries begin going on a credit card and the balance isn't paid off each month. Let's make something clear right from the beginning. Using a credit card isn't automatically a problem. Many financially responsible people use credit cards every day. They collect travel points, cashback rewards, extended warranties, fraud protection. Then, when the statement arrives, they pay the balance in full. No interest, no long-term debt. That's smart financial management. That isn't what we're discussing today. Today, we're talking about something completely different. We're talking about homeowners who use a credit card because there isn't enough money left in the checking account to buy groceries. That's an entirely different situation, and it's becoming more common every month. Imagine a couple named Mark and Jennifer. They've owned their home for 10 years. They've always paid their mortgage on time. They both work. They've raised 3 children. They've never considered themselves wealthy, but they've always managed their finances responsibly. 5 years ago, their grocery budget was manageable. Their insurance was manageable. Their utility bills were manageable. Life wasn't cheap, but it was predictable. Then things slowly began changing. Groceries increased. Gasoline increased. Homeowners insurance increased. Property taxes increased. Utilities increased. Auto insurance increased. Medical costs increased. The monthly budget became tighter. Nothing dramatic happened overnight. It was one small increase after another. An extra $20 here, $50 there, another 100 somewhere else. Each increase seemed manageable by itself. Together, they completely changed the family's financial picture. Then, the transmission failed in one vehicle. A few months later, the air conditioner needed repairs. Then the family dog required emergency surgery. None of those expenses were vacations. None of them were luxury purchases. None of them were irresponsible. They were simply part of life. So Mark and Jennifer did what millions of Americans have done. They pulled out a credit card, just temporarily. They told themselves they'd catch up next month. The problem was, next month wasn't any easier. The grocery bill still had to be paid. The mortgage was still due. Insurance was still due. The utility bills still arrived. And the credit card balance from last month was waiting too. So groceries went on the card again and again. Eventually, something changed. They were no longer buying groceries. They were financing groceries. Think about that for a moment. They're paying interest on milk that was poured months ago. Interest on bread that became toast last winter. Interest on eggs that have long since been eaten. Interest on food that's already gone. That's one of the most expensive ways to buy groceries. Now, let's talk about why this matters to homeowners. Because the grocery bill itself isn't what threatens the home. It's what happens afterward. The credit card balance grows. Interest begins accumulating. The minimum payment increases. Now there's another monthly bill competing for the family's income. The mortgage payment hasn't changed, but everything surrounding the mortgage has. Let's look at a typical monthly budget. Mortgage, property taxes, homeowners insurance, electricity, natural gas, water, internet, cell phones, auto insurance, car payments, fuel, groceries, medical insurance, prescription medications, streaming services, school expenses, home maintenance, vehicle maintenance, savings, retirement contributions. Every dollar already has a purpose. There isn't much flexibility left. When groceries begin going on a credit card, it's usually because every dollar has already been spent before the month is over. That's what financial professionals call a cash flow problem. Many homeowners misunderstand cash flow. They think because they have equity in their home, everything is fine. But equity and cash flow are two different things. A homeowner can have $300,000 in equity and still struggle to pay this month's bills. Equity doesn't pay the electric bill. Equity doesn't buy groceries. Equity doesn't fix the transmission. Cash flow does. That's why I've seen homeowners with beautiful homes in wonderful neighborhoods quietly struggling behind closed doors. Their neighbors have no idea. Their friends don't know. Sometimes even their own family doesn't realize what's happening. Financial stress rarely shows itself on the outside. Let's talk about credit card interest. Many people don't really think about it because they focus on the minimum payment. The minimum payment feels manageable. Maybe it's $200, maybe $300, maybe $400. But here's the problem. Much of that payment goes toward interest instead of reducing the balance. So next month, groceries go on the card again. Now the balance grows. Now the minimum payment increases. The cycle repeats itself. Eventually, that minimum payment becomes another fixed monthly expense, another bill, another obligation, another payment competing with the mortgage. This is how everyday groceries slowly become a housing issue. Not overnight, month after month. Let's imagine another homeowner. Susan is retired. Her mortgage payment is affordable. She receives Social Security and a modest retirement income. 5 years ago, she had money left over each month. Today, she doesn't. Food costs more, insurance costs more, medical expenses cost more. She begins using her credit card for groceries, not because she's irresponsible, because she wants to preserve the little cash she has available for emergencies. After several months, groceries become debt. The minimum payment grows. Then her roof develops a leak. Suddenly, she has another decision to make. Fix the roof or continue paying down the credit cards. These are decisions homeowners never expected to face, and unfortunately, they're becoming more common. One of the biggest misconceptions I hear is this: as long as I keep making my mortgage payment, I'm okay. Maybe, but maybe not. Because financial problems rarely begin with a missed mortgage payment. They usually begin months or even years earlier. Savings stop growing. Emergency funds disappear. Credit card balances increase. Home maintenance gets postponed. Retirement contributions are reduced. Medical appointments get delayed. Vehicle maintenance is ignored. Then, one more emergency arrives. That's often the moment everything changes. I've worked with homeowners for many years, and one thing I've learned is this: very few people wake up one morning and suddenly have financial problems. Almost everyone says the same thing. It happened gradually. It just seemed like everything kept getting more expensive. We kept thinking we'd catch up. Those comments are remarkably consistent. Financial hardship usually isn't caused by one bad decision. It's caused by hundreds of small decisions made while trying to adapt to changing circumstances. That's why I encourage homeowners to pay attention to early warning signs. Are groceries regularly going on a credit card? Are balances increasing instead of decreasing? Are you making only the minimum payment? Has your savings account stopped growing? Do unexpected expenses now create anxiety instead of inconvenience? Those questions matter, not because they predict disaster, because they help identify financial pressure before it becomes overwhelming. Let's discuss pride. Money is personal. Many people feel embarrassed discussing financial struggles. Please don't. Financial pressure affects teachers, police officers, healthcare professionals, construction workers, business owners, retirees, people with excellent incomes, people living on fixed incomes. No profession is immune. No neighborhood is immune. The cost of living has increased for everyone. The difference is simply how much financial flexibility each household has available. That's why asking questions early is one of the smartest financial decisions a homeowner can make. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're selling your home. It doesn't even mean you're in trouble. It simply means you're becoming informed. Knowledge creates confidence. Confidence leads to better decisions. Better decisions usually produce better outcomes. The earlier homeowners understand their financial position, the more opportunities they usually have. Waiting rarely creates additional choices. Information almost always does. If groceries have quietly become another monthly credit card payment, don't ignore what that may be telling you. Take a closer look at your budget. Review your debt. Understand your cash flow. Know how much equity you have. Most importantly, ask questions before financial pressure begins making decisions for you, because protecting your home doesn't begin with making a mortgage payment. It begins with protecting the financial foundation that allows you to make that payment month after month. Sometimes the first warning sign isn't a missed mortgage payment at all. Sometimes it's something as simple and as important as paying for groceries with a credit card. Here at Nevada Strategic Property Group, we've spent years helping homeowners understand their financial options before financial challenges become overwhelming. Our mission isn't to convince anyone to sell their home. Our mission is to educate, answer questions honestly, explain every available option, and help families make informed decisions based on facts rather than fear. We proudly serve homeowners throughout Nevada as a collaborative team that includes myself, Skip Benton, along with Tony Taylor and Savannah Lee of Coldwell Bankers Select Real Estate, and Angie Salcido of Premier Credit Solutions. As a certified short sale expert and certified distressed property expert, we are committed to providing straightforward guidance and helping you understand your options so you can make the decision that's right for you and your family.